Alright guys, this video I'm going to be going over 100% about display ads and whether or not they're a good idea to be placing on your affiliate websites. Your first question was probably what are display ads, so we're going to get into that right away. So first things first, I just want to preface in saying that most of the internet is already monetized with display ads. Listened to a podcast recently and they gave a breakdown, just throwing out some figures. I don't remember the exact figures off the top of my head, but most websites on the internet are actually monetized with ads rather than affiliate links. I think the outnumbering is about 4 to 1. So actually we live in a small bubble of this affiliate world, whereas most of the monetized world of the internet is used with display ads. What do display ads look like? So here's New York Times, and if you look at just any random article that I just picked out, here we have display ads right here and display ads down here. And these are basically going to be served up kind of in a random but calculated way depending on who's viewing the site. So based on your IP address, what your browsing history is, they know I like to travel. I think they think I like nice watches. I don't, but they're trying to serve me up ads that I'm likely to click on. So here's a list of your typical ad networks. We have AdSense, who you probably heard of a million times. So AdSense is Google's product. Basically, what a lot of the other networks end up using underneath the hood is Google AdSense anyways. So at the most vanilla form of running display ads, you're running AdSense on your site. After that, we have the networks, starting with Ezoic, Mediavine, and AdThrive. So what these guys are is basically a middleman layer on top of AdSense. And what they offer you is, underneath the hood, they're still just getting the same rates that people are bidding on these ads for in the AdSense platform. And they're outsourcing 95% of their media buying to them. But what Ezoic, Mediavine, and AdThrive do for you is they add a layer of programmatic AI, machine learning based placement technology. So whereas we might think we know the best place to place ads on a website, like they have the actual data and the experience and the machine learning to make that decision for us. So you'll get a better result than if you just use AdSense vanilla. And that's why you typically see higher RPMs, revenue per milli visitors, revenue per 1,000 visitors on these platforms. So what can I say about these guys? I've only tried Mediavine and AdThrive. AdThrive, it's hard to compare like RPMs because it was a different day and time. But what I don't like about AdThrive is they've kicked us out of the network, kind of Amazon style, and they didn't tell us any reason why. That same website we applied for straight away with Mediavine, and we've been running with them for multiple years. So I don't know what happened there, but their lack of support really turned me off and not even telling us like what the issue was. So I would say go with one of the other networks, Ezoic or Mediavine, as your choice. Lastly, we have Nuars. So Nuars, I'll talk more about these guys later. They're interesting. They are a smaller network. They're more boutique sized, but the advantage there is they don't have a large limit or a large minimum on the minimum amount of traffic you need to apply with them. So you can get started with them right away. Now, here's a question. Should I be running affiliate SEO where I'm linking to affiliate offers and making commissions on affiliate links, or should I run ads? In my opinion, if you had to choose one or the other, stick with affiliate. Affiliate always pays more. You're getting in the worst commission rate, if you're running Amazon, you're getting 4% on a particular category, but in other categories, especially digital products, you can get up to 50% commissions depending on what it is. So affiliate's always going to pay more. It's always going to earn more in general. You typically have to get a lot more traffic to have a competitive ROI from ads. Okay. But the question is, why not run both on these? Well, the first argument to that is this whole concept of one page, one goal. On every single website, you basically just want to have one focus on every single page, which would be just deciding for that page, what is the goal of that page? Is it to get them to click on this number one product that I've reviewed and gets this affiliate commission? Is it to get them to opt into my email list with these opt-ins that are in the sidebar and the main content? There's this concept behind one page, one goal that's held up through the test of time that you should only focus on one thing. So if we're distracting people with multiple things, it might take away from your primary monetization. So this is the question. Excessive ads perhaps will draw the eye away from our affiliate buttons and links. So instead of just ruminating about this, let's actually test it and see how things went. So here's the test. What we did is we took one of our ranking affiliate websites, and what we decided to do was install ads on 37 of its informational content pieces. So these content pieces were monetized just through email opt-ins. So there's no affiliate links on there. We're not trying to sell anything. It could be an article just on what are the benefits of juicing. And you don't see any links to blenders or juicers in there or any stuff like that. But you would see email opt-ins to get a free download, for example, and get in on the email list. And then that's monetized through an automated funnel. Excuse me. If you want to learn a little bit more on how that works, check out the creative monetization video on email follow-up series. Okay, so the key is that informational content pieces, and we're inserting the ads on these types of pages that are only monetized through email opt-ins. Now, email opt-ins, it's a long play. It's what's called top of the funnel, meaning these people are not close to buying something. They're very far away in the seller cycle in being close to buying something. So if the ads were to perhaps damage email opt-in rates, if half the people or maybe a tenth of the people signed up as opposed to before, it's not like we're going to have a huge monetary hit on the website. Sure, the email list wouldn't grow as fast, and then down the chain we wouldn't get some conversions through that, but we're not going to suffer hugely here. So this would be a great test case that's low risk, so to speak. So here's our criteria. We're going to look at the following things to judge whether or not this is a good idea to add these ads. Speed performance. Did the web pages slow down from adding the ads? This is a very highly reported, questionable thing about adding ads. They're notoriously known for slowing down websites, which can in turn affect rankings. Next, looking at rankings themselves. By adding them, did we perhaps trigger something with Google? Did we get demoted somehow? We're also going to take a look at traffic, which is a reflection of rankings. Also looking at time on page. Are people bouncing from our web pages faster just because they're not enjoying them anymore because of the ads? And then, of course, email subscriber rate. How bad did we hurt the email opt-in rate? And then finally, earnings. How much are we making from the ads from putting them on there? So just to back up a little bit and take a look at email subscriber rate, what we're doing here is, because we're testing this with email subscriber rate, what I'm hoping to do is hopefully get some kind of insight onto what would happen if I installed these ads on my affiliate content as well. Because it's the same type of layout on the website. Either you have email opt-ins or you have affiliate links. So we're assuming there could be a similar impact on the affiliate content, and hopefully we can glean something out of this low risk test. So the next question is, which ad network to use? The highest recommended networks that I heard from everyone else were to try Ezoic, Mediavine, and AdThrive. But AdThrive, we didn't have the visitors per month to be able to apply to their network. I think they require 100,000 visitors per month. Both of these guys were complete fails. Why? Because they don't allow you to have control over which pages you put the links up on. I've actually heard reports that that both these guys, Ezoic and Mediavine, they do have a short code that you can place on pages which can block them from putting up ads on these pages. But in the application process, both of these networks denied me because I was straightforward with them and told them this is the test we're wanting to do. We're not going to install on every single page. Secondly, they are installing a site-wide piece of code. So regardless if I'm displaying the ads on them or not, I was going to hit a speed decrease on all pages, whether or not the ads were up there. I was not interested in doing that kind of thing. And on top of that, Ezoic especially is notorious for slowing down websites. So that was another reason that I wasn't that bummed that I couldn't use these guys. So enter Newer Media. These guys are a boutique network From talking to them right off the bat, I realized they had awesome support. They came recommended from a very successful friend that I know that primarily focuses his monetization on ads. And he introduced me to one of their senior managers, and obviously got great support right there. One cool thing I learned from talking with these guys is that they claim to have no impact on speed, and their users never have complaints about it. I was not going to take their word at face value, and I was going to test this myself, but that was promising to hear right there. And then importantly, of course, they allow me to pick and choose which pages this goes on. At the end of the day, I'm happy to install ads on every single page of my website, but I want to test this first. And so Newer, if you're interested in joining these guys, which I highly recommend, just go to the resource section below, and there's an invite link in there that can get in the Affiliate Lab members. Okay, so let's look at the placement of what a typical layout of one of my info content pages looks like before I added the ads. So you can see, where were we? Okay, so here's our nav bar up here, and here's the article title. We have our content, like intro paragraph, and then somewhere below the fold, we'd have our email opt-in number 1 here, more content. This isn't just content, there could be images in here too. And then another email opt-in, and we could have between 2 to 3 inline email opt-ins before we hit the bottom, just depending on the length of the article. General rule of thumb that we like to do is just no more than 1 email opt-in visible on any screen length. And then in the sidebar, typically looks like this. We have something like recommended articles. So here's article 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And at the bottom of the sidebar, the last widgets is the email opt-in. Another just sidebar one. Okay, so now let's look at after we added the ads. So this is based on the best practices that we got from our Newer manager on how to install the ads. I actually recommended displaying the first banner up here above the title. Now this kind of weirded me out a bit. I thought it was just kind of strange. He said not only does it not seem to piss people off, but it does seem to set the tone of there being more ads later and there being the ability for them to click on them more easily. Just took his word for it and just did it like this anyways. So this is how it looks. We put this one at the top. So we have content here, we have our email opt-in, then it just started alternating till I hit the bottom. And in general, in the content itself, we would have 3 display ads. So one here, and then one towards the bottom, whenever that is. And then email opt-ins, I can have as many as I want, just the same rule as before, no more than 1 visible on a single page. And then for the sidebar, display ads at the top, and then our typical sidebar stuff, and then display ads at the bottom. Okay, so now let's jump over to results. Let's see what happened. In terms of website speed, we basically ran Pingdom, and we ran it from 2 different locations. So one in San Francisco and one in WDC. I had no idea what that is. But before installing the ads in San Francisco, we were 1.66 second load time. And after 1.07, so it actually improved. That could just be random error. Who knows what it could be. We tested this multiple times. So this is also the average between 37 pages. So this isn't just like a one-time single test where we're just like, okay, it's faster. There was a lot of averages going on, and that's what we got. WDC went from 1.34 seconds and to 1.30 seconds. So there was actually 21% non-improvement in the wrong direction. Do I care about this speed impact potentially on some pages and from some servers? No, because essentially, look at my load time. We are still under 1 second. It was barely impacted. This is in the zone of who freaking cares. Just get over it. What we're watching out for is me being 1.3 seconds before and me being 4.2 seconds after on both servers. So that's, in this case, I think we're fine. Next, we're going to look at rankings and traffic, and unfortunately, I don't know which way to look at it, but the data was corrupted for this. Why? Because in the middle of this test, we had an algorithm update called BERT, and BERT loved this website and ranked the crap out of it. So here's share of voice from AccuRanker, and here's traffic, which doubled after the course of this algorithm update. So it's not fair to compare rankings and traffic before and after. So Bert loved this website, but at the same time, I have no complaints. So too bad we don't get to look at rankings and traffic impact. That said, time on page. So with time on page, we were looking at an average of 3 minutes and 14 seconds between the 37 different pages before. After adding the ads, we checked again 7 days after. I took a snapshot here. It's 2 minutes and 57 seconds. And then 14 days after, for an impact of about negative 20% time on page. So here's my comments on this. Number one, there's probably just more visual exits on the page. So if there's more visual exits, that means there's more people exiting. There's more potential places for people to see an ad for a watch that they're interested in. They're going to click on it, right? So this is just a natural side effect of making money. Like if you have people clicking on stuff, they're going to leave, right? And you have more exits, then people are more likely to leave. But the ranking impact, I would assign this as low, right? Time on page can be debated on as a negative ranking signal if it's people are leaving the pages fast. But I think this only applies to bouncing, meaning they look at your page and then they bounce back to the SERP. That means they didn't get the answer that they're looking for. But if someone goes to your page and leaves your page right away because they found their answer and they found the link to whatever they were looking for, that's a successful search result. That's a successful web page that Google displayed to someone. So that shows that they're actually showing something good. So in this case, I mean, we're not talking about, light years of difference between the time on page anyways, but I think because people aren't, this isn't bouncing, this is people clicking through to something else, I think we're fine. Now, the important one, subscriber rate. So what we did was we looked at a 7-day window before we installed the ads and a 7-day window after. So in the 7 days before installing the ads, we had 96 signups, and the number of visitors to the site in this period was 15,119. Which means a sign-up rate of 0.23 sign-ups per visitor. That's the sign-up subscriber rate, so to speak. After, you had 128 sign-ups, more visitors, but the sign-up rate was 0.816 for 29.3% improvement. This one tripped me out. Okay, so the comments here, this is a very interesting result, of course. But what I'm theorizing about this is that possibly in today's internet, the presence of ads is a trust signal. So like we're so used to seeing ads all the time. New York Times has them. All the big websites have them. That possibly showing the ads is showing that we're not an affiliate site. We're a real website. We're a news website. We're a big website because we have the ads in the first place. This is a theory, but how else can we explain that this actually improved the way people are interacting with our given page? So possibly that credibility is what's making it result in more opt-ins. I don't know. Now the results. So let's look at earnings. So these algorithms, they take a while to ramp up, but as of today, and we've been running this, for a couple of weeks, it's making $28 a day. So algorithm's still ramping. These networks do say give us a bit of time to figure out, what the readers of the website are looking for. Let the machine learning do its job, and it's still growing. If you can't really see here, but the trajectory is going that direction. So it could potentially increase, and we're at $28.06 per day. So $28 per day, which is $840 extra per month, which is also a $33.6 thousand increase in flip price if we're looking at a 40x multiple. Pretty dope, especially since there was zero impact on the email opt-ins. In fact, the email opt-ins improved.
Now, one thing to bear in mind here, if we see over here on the left, we have the overall RPM, average CPM, all this stuff. RPM is the number that you're looking for, and that's revenue per million visitors, revenue for 1,000 visitors. This number is pretty low. Now, bear in mind, this test was run back in 2019, so things have definitely changed. RPM, inflation, all that kind of stuff has driven RPM up. But I would say, in general, New World does get a lower RPM than some of the bigger ad networks. So that's something to bear in mind, but that is kind of like the price you pay with going with the more boutique agency that'll let in sites with lower traffic. Once you get higher traffic, I'd recommend applying to one of the other networks.
So now the question is, do we install ads on the whole site? Let's just review here. So ads had no impact on email opt-ins at all. In fact, it helped improve it. Can we fairly apply the same logic to affiliate review content? Can we assume that in placing the ads there won't distract from the affiliate links themselves or the affiliate buttons, and maybe even might potentially encourage clicks on these other things just because of the presence or the look that they provide? Possibly, not sure. But unfortunately, this is very, very difficult to A/B test. It's quite impossible to do it. There's no way to do it based on time because, for example, right now we're in November, and before and after, based on 1 week to another, could mean a world of difference as we get closer to Black Friday or Christmas and stuff like that. So a time-based A/B test won't work. A side-by-side A/B test, very difficult to set up. It could work. I don't think it's worth testing though. I think at this point in time, you probably have enough decision-making fodder to make a decision yourself and decide what you want to do with these, to install just on your informational content, or do you want to install perhaps on your pages that are monetized with 100% Amazon, or perhaps do you want to go the full gambit and install on every single page on your site?